So, shoot, speaking of business, I mean, I wanted to pick up after just asking you about your business, altruistic vision, and all of that, and talk about business overall. You know what I mean? You've been mentioning it a lot in the interview, just like how things are structured in music business, and we talk about it often. Even to ask you a direct question, right? You said you wanted to be a change or like even a role model on what could be different. One thing, you don't got to go too crazy with it. Just like, what's one thing you would just directly want to change? You said something about like the rate of pay.
Yeah. I don't like how record companies take money from artists for their songs. I think the only people that need to get paid for the songs are the people who wrote it, did the beat, and performed on it.
So what if they pay for marketing? What if they pay for like
that's coming out of the label pocket, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that the artist should necessarily have to pay for that. That should be paid for by their investors.
No, I'm saying, like, so if they pay for it, then they should have to. It's like they should have to get a commission. Like, they have to make money off of what their advertisement made and then split it with the artist as well. Okay.
Like, to me, labels make too much money off of the specific artist, and that's how artists get fucked. And then, we have people like Frank Ocean who just come, drop 2 albums, and then ghost the music world because they don't want to be a part of it. We could get so much music from so many talented people if they trusted the music business, and we had a community to where people felt like they weren't going to be taken advantage of. And to me, that starts with making sure that the artists get to keep everything that they work for. There's no reason that I need to have royalties or get any money from Courage's song if I didn't do anything for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she has me as Tim Jones the artist featured on the song, then yeah, like, I need to get paid for that. But if she's going out, she's paying for her studio time, she's writing the songs, she's paying for the beat, the fuck do I need to get bread for? I didn't put any money into anything that she went and did. And even if I did put money into it, she's my artist. I'm investing in her. I'm trying to build her career. That's my goal. The only thing that I need in return from that. Let me throw a monkey wrench in there real quick, right? What if I videotaped your TikToks for you, right? New world, new publishing, new everything. And you got famous off of all those videos I did on my phone or your phone or whoever's phone. Do you think there should be a TikTok videoer fee? Is that as instrumental as having a producer 20 years ago? In my opinion,
I feel like so that's kind of like what you're saying. Yeah. Like, the model should, whatever time frame we're in, the model should be that
the person who did the shit is who gets paid. Okay. And if I didn't do shit, right? Like, you're the one who did the TikTok video. It was you and Courage, right? And y'all got famous off that shit. Right. I shouldn't be getting anything out of that.
I get what you're saying.
Because that's like, other than Courage being like, yeah, I'm with Altruistic Vision.
All right, that's fair. Right, you just shout you out.
Yeah.
And if she didn't, you just salty. You like,
I'm like, well, fuck you. You ain't part of AV no more. Like, kadoosh.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, okay. Because I just wanted to get an understanding for the viewers, because they don't all know business structure, so they need scenarios. How would that look? So and just like what you were saying, if a record label signed you and the guy made the beat, they made the song. And this is before the internet. And okay, this is even a dope question, even though it doesn't matter anymore, but just for the idea of it, just so we can get a good idea. So like the CDs, right? I need 10,000 CDs. Should the artist pay for the CDs?
In my opinion, no.
So, if the record label wants to pay for the CDs, they get their cut, and then the artist gets their cut. Okay, that's the same thing you just explained to me. So that's a good thing we don't have CDs no more, guys.
Yeah, because that's just ridiculous.
Now you don't even need them.
Exactly.
You just you just put it right on the internet.
We're in the digital age where I don't need to.
You don't even need that.
There's no need for a middleman anymore.
Nah,
like,
I get it now.
And, you know, if there's no middleman, why am I getting middleman money?
No, I mean, that's why I started a media platform. I get it. It's like nobody needed them.
Yeah, needs like them. The fuck.
So I would have started a record label if it was like, if it made sense.
Like if I wanted to come to you for videos, I'd come to you for videos. I'd be like, TJ, come do this for me. I don't have to go to somebody else to be like, yo, can you get TJ to do this for me?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck would I do that for when I can just...
This is like, I guess we're talking about like access, right?
Yeah.
This is like a conversation about access. It's like, if I can just contact them, it's like, why would I need to talk to you?
Yeah, the fuck? Okay. If I can just put my music on a goddamn platform, why wouldn't I just put my music on a goddamn platform?
We was talking about that before the interview where I was like, we were talking about streaming and stuff. I think people are going to start using digital websites. I'm just waiting for the day. I think the way that data works and stuff.
I think people are too intimidated by digital websites.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you think about it, right?
Like, I definitely want a Tim Jones website and an Altruistic Vision website, but that shit is work and that shit is hard. You know, when it comes to websites and shit like that, there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration because it's just as in-depth as apps. You know, you have to be able to draw attention and keep that attention. And if you have the same boring ass website for even just a month, that can fuck you up. And a lot of people are intimidated by work. So it's like, you have to prioritize. And this is just me talking to me, like, I don't have a website yet because I have other things that I feel are more of a priority right now. But I definitely think it's important to have shit like that. But I know people who are like, nah, I'm not doing that shit because that shit's too hard and there's no fucking reason for it. And I'm like, you're tripping. You tripping, bro. You can literally make your own website, put all your music on that, and then have people pay you for that shit. You don't have to go worry about getting 73 cents from Spotify.
I mean, I would even say, like, the data, man. Like, so many people make so much money off the data alone. So even if you're not making no money, just having your pictures on a website that people only can see on your website, it's like,
it's that exclusive shit.
But why are you letting Instagram get all of that data? That's the question. Because they said, what you said, the statement was, people said there's no reason for me to have a website. I'm asking you, what reason would you let Instagram have all the information about who came and seen what you did? What did you get for that?
Not shit. But what did you get from it from your website? A whole lot of clicks.
Yeah, you get emails. You get
right.
Yeah, you get the traffic to tell other people that you have a place where people come see stuff, so they'll pay you to advertise their stuff over there. Like, there's a lot of leverage in having a website. So that's why I just always wondered. I'm like, you know, we put these informational videos, we put, you know, performance videos, we put these interviews on YouTube because, like you said, there is a monetary system to it. But it's more for the promotional value. You know, that was the reason why I started using these bigger apps, is because you have access to a large audience. Fair enough. So I'll let you have some of the data of who I communicate with in order to gain some of that information along the way.
Exactly.
But other than that, once I experienced a social media platform, because we started from websites. At least my days of messing with technology started with websites. So I already knew that much. It was being considered as far as traffic. Like, you could count who came. Now they give out so much information. You can know what state someone is. You can know when they're actually on it live.
Right, you can get a notification, be like, somebody just went on your website.
Yeah, so we're definitely building out a lot of systems in order to give the greatest experience. Because like you just said, that's part of the intimidating part. It's like, what experience are you giving people on the website? how much can you really spend time doing that? I know you were talking about your music as well earlier in that same regard, just as far as getting it to a certain level. What's the process of how you want to cultivate your music in order to give people the experience that you want to give them so that you can distribute it or create a larger audience? Or like, what's your goals with it? And so what's the process in order to get to that goal?
So for me specifically, I'm a perfectionist. And right now I'm having a rapid growth in my stage presence, my cadence, my flow, and just how I spit all around. So I'm taking all of the songs that I've already done and completely reworking them to how I am now, and then going to get them re-recorded, mixed, mastered, and then released. And for me, like, and this is just me personally, I think that big media platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal, like, they're not really personable. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really do shit for you other than make you feel cool about being on a big platform. So for me, like, I want to set up my own website to where you can only get my album off my website. You can only see my shit off my website. You have to come to me specifically to get my shit, because that's how I know you're a real fan. That's how I know that you're actually invested in this and want to get more from me. Yeah, eventually I'm going to put all my shit on platforms because, you know, people be lazy as shit and they just want to be like, oh, like, it's easily accessible on Spotify, so can you put it on Spotify because I don't want to go download this other app. And it's like, that right there shows me you don't really give a fuck that much about my career, but you care enough to ask me to do this shit. So yeah, I'm going to do it. But I want it to be an actual experience of who I am as a person, because that's what I'm putting into my album. I'm putting my full entire self into this album, because I've been working on this bitch for like a year and a half, and it's finally gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, I feel that everyone's going to listen to this and understand what the fuck I'm talking about when they see me in public and I just be ranting and rambling. They'll be like, oh shit, I get it now. Like, everything this motherfucker says makes sense now. And in order to do that, I needed to step back and actually figure out everything that I wanted to say, because I be saying a lot of shit, but not everything everyone says is important. And for me, if I'm going to put something into your brain, it has to be important. So now that I'm done the reworking stage and I'm finally in the recording stage, I've realized how I want to formulate the album and format it, and how I'm going to tell the entire story of what it is, which I'm not going to give away, but it's going to be like, it's some old 90s type shit. Like, it's what I grew up on, what I listened to, and how I want to represent hip hop. So it's real old school with some new school ass sounds, which I'm really excited for, because I have one of my favorite personal producers and engineers in the area working with me on it. And like, everybody who knows me knows Smooth is one of my favorites. So I'm excited to the fact that he was just even willing to do this with me. So shout out to you, Smooth. You that
that was actually, that was a dope actual segue, because that was my last point I wanted to talk about before we wrapped up, where I was going to be like, how did that come across? How does that relationship work? What do you want to gain from the experience of doing the album? And just like any little bit of information you can give us about the actual project, like I said, before we get out of here.
So every song that everyone's heard me perform so far is going to be on the album. There's 6 other songs that are going to be on it that people haven't heard yet. There's also 2 skits. It's going to be featuring 2 local area poets, Sheen and then Bria Nicole. And then Smooth and I are going to be doing the skits and going throughout the rest of the album. It's probably going to be about maybe like an hour and like 10 minutes worth of shit. And it's just going to be a real dope experience. It's not a concept album, but it's formatted in an order where it's without giving too much away, it's kind of like a show, for lack of better terms. Because after I do the album, I plan on recording a live version of it where I perform the whole entire album with the band and do the entire album, like, you know, skits included. So it really is a fucking show. The relationship with Smooth obviously came from you, my nigga, because I remember the first time I saw Smooth was one of the first shows that you invited me to, and that one was I want to say it was Clout Run #1, if I'm not mistaken. It could have, man, we done so many fucking shows, I don't even remember. But that was one of the ones where I just kind of showed up as, not as a performer, but as a spectator. And you had introduced me to Smooth, and I didn't realize that he was a rapper because you had just told me that he was an engineer and producer. And then him and Reek went up, and, you know, they were fucking waffle smoke, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I was like, God damn, like that shit was crazy. Like, it revolutionized how I felt. And a couple months later, I had finally, not a couple months, like 2 weeks later, I had performed and Smooth was there, and he was like, you dope as shit. I was like, this nigga Smooth said I'm dope as shit? Like, I got TJ, Reek, and Smooth telling me I'm dope as shit? Like, I gotta be dope as shit. And at first, like, which nobody's gonna, fuck it, I can say it now, like, I was really intimidated to rap in front of all y'all. Because to me, like, y'all were where I wanted to be. And it was like, hearing Smooth be like, nah, nigga, you dope as shit, really gave me the push that I needed, especially to finally get back into album mode. And to have him agree to do this was just like, all right, that solidified it. I am fucking dope. You can't tell me shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. This shit gonna be one of the illest fucking projects that anybody's ever heard in their fucking life, because it was done by me and Smooth Waffle.
Yeah, like when you tell it like that, you definitely just gave the firest album pitch ever. Like, you know what I mean? If anybody ever rocked with your music and heard, and when they hear this, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm definitely tuning in to this. I know they're gonna definitely want to hear this. You got me a little bit more sold on it as well.
Hustle Hunting's on the album, Meditate's on the album, Nihilistic Visions is on the album, Rocket Ship is on the album, Lane to Lane is on the album. And those are all the songs that I've performed live. Coffee and Cigarettes, a remix version is on the album, and the original version is on the album. So it's like, there's a fuck ton of shit, and it's well put together. Like, the order and the format of how I'm doing it and how everything's going is dope as shit. It's one of them Johns where you gonna like have to take a whole hour and a half out your day, roll like 4 blunts, sit on the couch, put on your headphones and press play and be like, oh shit. Like, that's the kind of album that I'm trying to create. The shit that made me fall in love with music is what I want to give to the people. Yeah, you need to, we're gonna have to talk about that phrase you just used, because that was a fire way to put it. Like, the type of experience that you loved about hip hop is the one that you want to give people. That's fire. Bro, ain't nothing better than just sitting there with some weed listening to a dope ass fucking album. Like, and it don't even have to be somebody who like makes weed smoking music. You can sit there and smoke weed listening to fucking Life of Pablo. Like, you can sit there and smoke weed listening to fucking, like, well, if I'm gonna talk about what I listen to, I sat there and smoked weed and listened to fucking Section 80, just the other day. I'm a huge Kendrick fan. So, and I've been on like a Kendrick binge, so I was just listening to Pimp a Butterfly. Like, you can just sit there and just smoke and just listen to it and just catch everything. Like, I personally don't feel like there's a better feeling than that, other than performing.
Okay, well, is there anything you want to leave us with today before we slide?
Smoke weed every day. Smoke pot, smile a lot.